mo tún ti dé bí mo ṣe ń lè dìgì gàgà dìgì gàgà tú pápá tú pápá tú. Okay, now. Let me come back. Hi people, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're joining us for the very first time, thank you so much for coming here on Eleshomoyo Saradua. This is basically a lifestyle channel, and trust me, you're going to have fun on everything I drop on this channel, from my thoughts to checking out new music to showing you my events and taking you around with me. Sometimes you would totally enjoy it. So if you're just joining us, thank you for joining us. And if you have been here for a while now, if you're a regular person on this channel, thank you so much for coming back also. But if you're new, remember to like, subscribe, and stay on this channel so that you can get notification as soon as I drop a video. Well, this is going to be a continuation of a conversation we started on the first episode of Most Thoughts. And that is the English rule I do not intend to comply with. After I dropped that video, a lot of people came to me to ask me, okay, what if you now get married? Blah, 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 blah. You are so attached to your surname. Well, I did not lie. I did not deny it. I'm so attached. It's true. But after those questions came, I thought, okay, maybe we should do some research. Maybe we should do some digging. Maybe we should even go back to the root and understand how we got to the point where we have to take our husband's name. Abby? Are you not curious? Have you ever checked? I'll tell you a bit. In the medieval period, there was really nothing like surnames. Everyone had a first name. You give birth to your child and you give them a name. In fact, the name you give them is not as important as their baptismal name. That is the name they get when they finally get baptized. But along the line, it was like there were so many Thomases, so many Josephs, so many Williams, and all of that in the world. And then there was a need to, identify people by something else, which was later known as what? Surname. So they started bringing out surname, but surname came out of three different things. Either the occupation you do, so you can hear Thomas Smith because he's a smith, you understand? And then you can hear something like, based on the place you stay, maybe York, you stay in New York, so you can hear, you probably have someone say they are Williams York because of their locality. So those things came to be, and it was like, okay, now we have surnames. Then later on, the whole wife and husband thing, you marry, there was still no major push as to taking their husband's name. Even when women get married, they would still bear their name and the surname they had before marriage. Then later on, something was introduced called the doctrine of coverture. And that's where the man, it's like the old biblical part of when a man and a woman come together, they become one. So the doctrine of coverture naturally allows you to be under the covering of your husband. And that's because at that time, women were not allowed to do a lot of things. They did not have a place in the society. So the fact that you're married, the right of your husband somehow covers you as a woman. So the doctrine of coverture came into play, and that's when women began to take their husband's name. Then from there, we moved on to the, oh no, we no go agree, women should have rights and that and that and that. And then before you knew it, some women started reverting back to, staying with or sticking with their own name, because now we now have, rights that are now identified around the world. But for me, right, I'm no feminist. In fact, Nigerian feminism disgusts me, because I feel like Nigerians, you guys turn around the old idea of feminism, and that's why a lot of people want to hide under feminism to do a lot of crazy stuff. I'm not a feminist. Yeah, I am not a feminist. But would I retain my name after marriage? That was a question most of you asked. I haven't given you the background of how we got to this point where women started taking up their husband's name. Well, I don't think mine has anything to do with history. I know that in Africa, it's more of a customary thing. We've made it a custom. Once you're married, you take your husband's name. You go be with your husband. You can't divorce because you're holy. Dale Moshu, I cannot interpret that one. But Yoruba land, it says you can't go back to your father's house. All those things come to play in the normal custom or customary move. But personally for me, I've already talked about how attached I am to my name, how I feel like my name sounds better when I say my surname first all of those things you know now. And in case you've not seen it, you probably have to go check out the previous episode where I talked about the rule of English I do not intend to comply with. But getting back to the question now, I think when I started out as a brand, or when I started out my brand, I've always had this thing in the fact that I want to make my name a household name. I want to write my name in the sand of time, in a way that a lot of people would know my name, say my name, but yeah, for good and obvious reasons, right? So that's always been my dream. Even at the end of my biography, the last sentence says she's continuously working to make a name a household name. And what name am I referring to? Eleshomo Yosorioluwa. Another research I've carried out is for so many media personalities, always very hard to switch names when they are married. That's because they've pushed out a particular name in the course of building their brand. So many people already know them as that name. So imagine I get married and then I just switch on you guys, like totally, like, boom, it's not Moyosorioluwa this, so you're like, you know. So that attachment is naturally there because of how I have built a particular brand over the years. I still have not answered the question. It's very deliberate. So sometimes I ask myself, what does my husband want, or my husband to be? What does he want? I don't know. But I know that he also knows that I have an attachment to my surname. Maybe you guys have the opportunity to ask him to his face. But really, I think that I haven't asked myself, knowing that I also want to build, I tell myself one of my major visions is to make my name a household name, and you already know the name I started out with. So yes, that's the name I want to be known for. But you know, definitely as an African woman, a married woman, some things would change. So what am I going to do? I don't even know. So I'm sure you're asking, so what's this something video? I don't know. Okay, well, I think I've come to a conclusion that if I cannot stick with my name the way it is, that is Eleshomo Yosorioluwa, I'm going to probably end up compounding my name. That is probably my surname and my current name, that's my surname and my name, alongside my husband's name. So maybe a compound name might just work to at least show that I'm an African woman with respect. But to be very honest, if I had my way, I'll probably just stick with my current name. That's just continue with my brand, Eleshomo Yosorioluwa, so that at least I can finally fulfill that dream I've always wanted, that is to make my name a household name. So yes, that might just answer your question for a bit, even though I ended up dancing around a lot. That's because it was difficult to put that there. But that's what I'm thinking in my head. I don't know about you. If you also have, if you're also not comfortable with the whole change of name after marriage thing, let me know. Also drop your comments right down below and I'll be glad to read from you. Thank you so much to everyone who's been dropping their comments so far. It's been helping me to push out some more content there and always come back to talk to you guys. Remember again, if you're new here, don't leave without subscribing. And if you're old of me, tell someone about the channel because it's always fun talking to you. So next time when we see you again, remember to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification. We'll see you soon again. My name is Eleshomo Yosorioluwa and this is all about my thoughts.